This is the Hockey Podcast Network, your home for hockey talk on every team in the NHL.
Welcome to Offside by a Mile, the podcast for anything and everything Colorado Avalanche, and the official Avs podcast for the Hockey Podcast Network. Well, we said it was going to be a positive Thursday podcast, I guess. Wednesday postgame.
Yeah.
And fuck yeah, it is.
It worked.
It worked.
Wow.
And it's going to be a positive Friday postgame too.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Definitely wouldn't have expected two big dubs by Michael Hutchinson, though.
Yeah, that's a little sidebar, isn't it?
That is definitely something that we did not predict.
Yeah, and I mean, he played pretty well. I mean, I gotta say.
He played fine, but this team went from playing like absolute idiots defensively to playing like a team that knows how to play defense. It was crazy.
Right.
It was
defense.
Absolutely the craziest little transformation I've seen in a team that literally overnight, like actually overnight.
Yeah, straight up. They flipped the script, that's for sure. I mean, much better efforts and overall just like a defensive conscience, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know what clicked or what got said, or I don't even know how it can change that drastically, like kind of you were alluding to. And it's like, all right, I mean, we know we could play defense like that too. And tonight was a perfect example of that for sure. In this game 5, game 6. And I mean, the whole third period was just us kind of drawing them into our game, and it was perfect. So, I mean, yeah, defensive switchover for sure.
But again, right? Monday's podcast, Sunday's postgame. What do we talk about? We talked about the Avs not getting sucked into the garbage that is the Dallas Stars.
Exactly.
Game 5, for 2 periods, I don't know, we'll call it 35 minutes or so. The Avs played their game. They didn't play any bullshit scrums. They didn't fall into the Dallas Stars crap.
Mm-hmm.
From a little bit near the end of the second to most of the third. Actually, I guess no, it was probably half of the second. And then like a bit of the third. But the third, the refs seemed to actually scare the Dallas Stars into playing normally, it seemed.
Yeah, in game 5, yeah. It was,
in game 5. And then game 6, what was there like? Well, there was the scrum after the empty netter.
Yeah, which I don't even know what even happened because I didn't, you can see that on the camera angle. I don't even think they ever showed it.
Yeah.
I was like,
so
what the fuck happened?
But like, there was that. That was pretty much it. Right? And it was just like, okay, sweet.
Definitely a much more business-like mentality tonight from both teams, whereas fucking completely bonkers emotional game on game 5, right?
Yeah.
And like, especially when it comes to the Stars.
Okay, I know how, like, I've seen the joke tweets and stuff from game 5 about like Pierre commenting on the fact that like Dallas was playing a great game when they were being physically stupid, if we want to call it that. And then he was giving shit to Kadri on that.
Yeah.
And while it sounds really stupid, and we can all get on Pierre because he's annoying and he's weird, and I still like the guy. Mostly because I like the drinking game associated with Pierre. It's hilarious and it's fun and it's a really good way to get drunk while watching a hockey.
There you go.
But he's actually saying something that makes a lot of sense. The Colorado Avalanche can't play the physical scrum garbage hockey because, as you saw in game 5, we can disagree with a lot of what the refs called in that game and what they didn't call. But the Avs get stupid and take penalties, where the Dallas Stars draw those penalties in the scrums. They can't draw the penalties between the whistles. We watched that tonight. We watched that in game 6. the Avs weren't perfect. They didn't only take one penalty.
Mm-hmm.
There was some stuff that wasn't called, but that's every single playoff game. But what you saw was that the Dallas Stars took 4 blatant penalties
Yep.
to the Avs 1.
Right.
And that's playoff hockey. And Dallas can only draw penalties in their skill game after the whistle.
Yeah, they got the professional rats on that team.
Right? They're all rats, all of them. Whereas the Avs don't know how to deal with that. They go over the line. Like, was it Gerard or Graves, whoever the hell grabbed the visor at the end of the game?
It was Gerard.
That was so stupid.
And that's totally out of character for
like that's
Gerard, right?
That's an automatic call.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Right?
Maybe there could have been one going the other way, but don't put yourself in that position, right?
That's one of the ones where you can argue about, whether what the refs did call or didn't call. That, to me, should have been even, right? Yeah. They even said it on the Canadian or was it the NBC I don't know. Whatever broadcast we had for Game 5. They said it, and they're like, that looked pretty even to me. And it's like, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely it did. But whatever. The Avs can't get into that crap.
Yep.
And Game 5, when they went up big, they got up big by keeping Dallas asleep and not starting that crap.
Mm-hmm.
But again, with the Pierre thing, Dallas has to play that way, A, to wake themselves up, and B, to try and draw power plays to catch up. Yeah. He's not wrong. As annoying and stupid as you think that take was, it was right on the money.
It just, it sounded bad, and people like to twist words too, right?
People love to hate on Pierre too.
It's an easy scapegoat, right?
But again, you look at Game 6, the Avs, again, there was like no scrums in this game.
Yeah.
The Avs were smart. The Avs didn't take penalties until it was basically over.
Yeah.
And then they did kill the penalty they got. Now, again, would be awesome if they could fucking score on a power play.
I mean, it's honestly a miracle that we're getting this many goals in a game while missing that many power play opportunities. That is wild. And
yeah, especially in the playoffs, right? And
I don't know what it is.
In the playoffs, lopsided power plays don't happen.
Usually.
The fact that the Avs were up 5-0 on calls was crazy.
Yeah.
4-0 on calls, 5 power plays to none. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. But again, the Avs didn't really give the refs too many opportunities to make calls today.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all on them. And that is fantastic hockey.
Mm-hmm.
And again, what we said in the last podcast was the Avs cannot fall into that trap. They can't.
Yeah. And I mean, you definitely see the discipline. Like, there's a commitment to the discipline now, you can tell, along with, just playing the right way in general and like the battle.
Yeah.
And battling disciplined, Like, yeah, we're not giving any there's nothing to call. There's not much to call on us, and we're just playing good, hard hockey and good breakouts too. There's not a whole lot of laziness there was a few for sure.
Oh, there was it's hockey. It's a hockey game.
And that's the whole thing about playing a full 60 blah, Everyone says that. We say it a lot. We've said it. You're not going to get a perfect 60, and especially in playoff hockey.
This is a pretty good 60. There was
a really good 60.
What was it when was that stretch? In the third? The 2 or 3 minutes where Dallas was just humming?
That was scary. It was a bit scary, but
it was like, oh my God. Or was it the second? I don't even know.
That was in the third, yeah, for sure. It was, I don't know. There were a few times.
Second.
I was just going to say, no, it wasn't the second.
It was after I think it was after the Avs' last power play.
Yep.
And Dallas
and
just
that was in
went
between
nuts.
the goal for was that Mikko's goal? I'm pretty sure that was in between.
No,
the power
that was right
play
before Makar's goal.
Or Makar, yeah.
But it was just it was like an onslaught. But those are one of those plays, right? Like I think we talked about it last episode, or maybe this episode before. The Avs had been beating themselves in the first 4 games of the series, right?
Yep.
That 2 or 3 minute stretch, that was Dallas putting the pressure on.
Yeah, exactly.
But the Avs didn't break, and then a couple of minutes later, Makar goes up and just clutch. Just the puck finds him, and it's in the net.
Yeah.
Perfect. Like, it's so huge, and that's what I expected from Dallas, especially after the 5 power plays, right? I expected Dallas to score on their first power play, especially. Like, it's the playoff hockey mentality, right? It's you don't make them pay, they're going to make you pay with the one chance they get.
Yeah. Exactly.
And they didn't. And it was amazing. And it was, we're going to Game 7. Hell yeah.
Man, what a feeling, dude. And Man, I'm so proud of them for pulling it together.
Just like their NBA brothers.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
The Nuggets pull off the 3-1 comeback.
Yeah.
Winning Game 7. Avs, let's follow it up.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude.
It's written. It's already written. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like we said, we're going to have a happy fucking Game
Happy
7
Friday
post-game.
postgame.
Exactly. Oh, man. But, yeah, I mean, that was Hutch, too, man. Like, in this game, honestly, if it weren't for that bad goal, and it was a bad goal, I mean, he knows he should have had it.
Oh, yeah.
At first, I thought it went off McKinnon's stick, which it didn't, but honestly, that's kind of McKinnon's man, too. He was upset about it.
And we've talked about it a million times. He fucked up the read for Hutchinson.
Yeah.
Right off the stick, right? But Hutchinson's got to have that. It's from way too far out. He's got to have that. He knows he's got to have that.
Yeah. And you could tell he was
But
upset.
those are the kind of goals you expect your third string goalie to let in.
And yeah, and if it weren't for that, that's a big old donut right there.
There's a big reason he's a third stringer. But the way the Avs have played in the last 2 games has protected Hutchinson.
Yeah.
The way the Vancouver Canucks played yesterday
oh God.
with Demko
Talk
in
about
net,
putting a load on a fucking goalie.
Dude, they won a game with 17 shots.
How many shots against? I was pushing 50,
40
wasn't it?
I think, yeah.
Like
it was crazy.
He played a crazy game. He's the whole reason that they won that game.
But
yeah, I mean, if not for that's a fucking shutout. And I mean, he made some great saves, dude.
There was a couple in
shutdown saves.
There's a couple in the second.
Yeah.
There was that one mid first that was really good. The one where he came across.
Yeah, the big pad save.
Yeah, I think the one in the second I'm thinking of was a big scramble where he gets it with his toe after he tries to cover it.
Right. That's when it kind of squeaks in almost behind him.
So close and pure luck that he got that.
Yeah.
But hey, I mean, shit happens. We lost Grubauer. Whatever the hell happened to Frankie, kind of silver lining he wasn't playing the greatest. And man, if Hutchinson, if this team is going to play this way in front of Hutchinson, let's go. I'll take it.
It's making his life a hell of a lot easier. And man, on those outside angles and everything, he looks good.
Yeah,
he's poised.
That's the other thing too. We saw him a couple times this season, right? When Grubauer was hurt.
Yep.
And he didn't look calm. He didn't look like he was happy to be there. Right,
yeah.
like he had the jitters, right? Like you could tell, and obviously that's a confidence thing. I don't know where the fuck the confidence came from, though.
Maybe, I mean, it could be partially due to his team playing so well in front of him, and I mean, yeah,
crazy. That being said, before we get too crazy in on this game, we are going to be joined across the rink today by Mr. Michael Farley. And we did say that, we'd have him on. We'd have him on again, and we were gonna try and have him on Sunday, but he's kind of crazy and was working all day instead of watching the game like a crazy man. But I mean, he's here now, and he gets to love the Game 6 loss with us, right?
Hi, boys.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Mike.
Wow, what a difference 1 week can make, huh?
Yeah, right. I mean, it has flipped, I guess you could say.
Yeah, that was not what I wanted from that Game 6 at all. That was not fun.
Yeah, I mean, I could sympathize.
So, I mean, obviously, you weren't expecting. You were probably expecting a win against Michael Hutchinson in Game 5, right?
I mean, listen, I give him beginner's luck, I guess, for Game 5, but listen, the team also, you guys were talking about it before I even came on. The team played well in front of him, so credit to the Avs. They played well. They played a hell of a game, especially that Game 5, expecting him to come in and start like that. So, I sort of chalked it up to, you know what, the team played well, and he had, some beginner's luck in the playoffs, and I expected the Stars to come out and just shell him, and he played pretty well, and then he lets in that squeaker from Heiskanen. I was like, all right,
I was freaking out a bit.
Here we go, just put it on net, boys. And man, the Stars' confidence just offensively is just so shaky. They gained their mojo, and it feels like,
you know what's happened? They regressed to the norm finally. They showed a graphic. They showed a graphic before the game for us up here in Canada land, and the winner of every game in the series has scored at least 5 goals, and they've generally been 2-goal games.
Yeah.
That is insane. That is not what I would have expected with Dallas. Period. End of story.
Yeah,
So
Dallas,
the fact,
I think Dallas has only not scored more than 3 twice or something like that.
yeah, which is crazy. Considering what was your average goals per game?
It was, I think we were 28th. Like we were just
it was like
horrid.
It was like 2.6 or 2.7 or something. Like it was low.
Yeah, it was not
right.
good.
And it's just like, man, I'm not going to say that they're going to score 1 goal in game 7 either. I'm sure there's a very good chance they bounce back, but wow, like the Avs team that showed up in game 5 and 6 hadn't shown up in all 4 games previous.
I would say, I don't know how you guys feel, but in my opinion from watching that, I would say that game 6 was probably the most complete Avalanche game of the series.
Yeah.
And the prettiest one was obviously game 5 going up 5-0. Obviously that's pretty. Yeah. But I agree with you. I believe they played a way better game in game 6 than they did in game 5.
And that was kind of like the whole vibe in that game 5 is like, yeah, we're up like 4 or 5 goals for the majority of that game, but you're sitting there like any small little flare of spark from the Dallas Stars, you never know what's going to happen. And it was a very tight game, right? And
I'm sure Dallas fans, when they were down 3-0, were like, got them right where we want them.
Well, listen, even when we were down 5 and we scored a couple, I was like, you know what? I mean, it's only the first period. Like just because they've done it before, they've given me that hope, right? It's horrible. They've killed me inside for this. But I mean, like, they gave us that hope. We've seen them do it before. So, like, even in the back of my mind, every time, like, even today, listen, we're down 3-1 in that third period. And I'm like, you know what? 3-1 leads haven't been safe anywhere in these playoffs.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm still not too worried about that. But, I mean, again, the Avalanche played just a hell of a whole hockey game. Just a team game. That was a textbook game for you guys, at least.
Agreed, yeah.
So, back to game 5. And the goalie stuff. We have to talk about your goalie stuff.
Of course.
Mr. Unfit to Play again, Ben Bishop. I know we talked about it last time we talked about Ben Bishop, was the fact that, like, what the hell's going on? Really, like, what the hell is going on?
Again, your guess is as good as mine on this point. But, like, here's the thing. Before, we were talking as if he was like the nuclear deterrent almost. Like, he was the wild card, right? Like, he's our last big gun to play. But now, like, especially after seeing him come in and just sort of start, and in my opinion, I wouldn't have given him the start. Even after what we talked about a couple weeks ago, about, like, him being like this thing, this boogeyman. After watching how the series has gone, I just don't give him the start.
See, Jared said the same thing, and I was like, man, this is the perfect game for Ben Bishop to start because the pressure's on the Avs. If the Dallas Stars lose game 5, oh well, it's not that big of a deal. But watching Ben Bishop give up the goals that he gave up, and they weren't necessarily entirely his fault. Like, Dallas just didn't show up to start the game in game 5.
But there were a couple. He didn't inspire the team, though.
Yeah.
Like, every save he made, right? Normally your goalie makes a save, the bench goes, yes, all right, and they play with some more fire because their goalie made the save. He made the save, and everyone was going, yeah.
It was weird. It was I'll give you that because, like, it just, the whole time when he was in the net was just odd.
I feel like
it was just, you look at the goalie matchup, it's Hutchinson versus Bishop going into that one. Like, the tail of the tape is so swung in the Stars' favor for that.
Yeah.
And it blew my mind.
Yeah, I mean, that was the thing too, is like the saves he did make and / the goals he let in, it didn't produce inspiration, that's for sure. And
it's what we saw from him in the one game he played in the Calgary series. He came in, we won that game, but by the skin of our teeth, and he didn't look very solid in that one either.
Right.
obviously hindsight's 2020, and now you're looking at with the loss of Game 6, you're looking at Game 5, going, man, we really gave it away here.
Oh, 100%.
But at the same time, Game 5, like Dallas, the pressure on Game 7 is squarely on their shoulders.
I wasn't happy to give Colorado Game 5, but I expected it. Like it was like, right, it's do or die.
Yeah.
And so it's Colorado, Nathan McKinnon. You know what? I will give you guys Game 5. I don't think the Dallas Stars are going to – I didn't expect to have a 3-1 lead in the first place, but I definitely didn't expect the Stars to beat the Avs in 5 games. So I gave them Game 5. I conceded Game 5. This was it. This was the one, right? This was the one Stars fans and the team were – I just really hope they can – I feel like the team was like, we're going to finish them today. And I just hope that they can build some sort of – because there were periods of that game where everyone on the ice just was like dogging it down the ice. And I'm like, boys, I hope someone can get some fire in that locker room.
It was a weird one because the Stars really only pushed the pace for I don't know, maybe 5 minutes a period.
Yeah, I'd say I was gonna say 15 minutes that whole game.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Right, they had that stretch, we talked about the stretch in the second where the fact that the Avs didn't get scored on was crazy, and then McCarr goes up and gets the lucky 2-1 goal, and you're like, okay, sweet. And then there was a bit in the third, and there was a bit in the first, of course, but yeah, it was a rough one for Dallas.
I definitely wasn't saying okay, sweet when McCarr scored. I definitely didn't say that. Yeah. But I mean, it was just we buzzed around in the second period. We had our push towards the end, went with the empty netter and all that stuff. Though, to be fair, I turned the game off once they sunk the empty netter.
Don't blame it too much on that.
Nope.
I honestly, I didn't turn the game off, but I couldn't tell you what happened after. I don't think
I saw the scrum happen, and I was like, you know what?
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
I'll see you in Game 7.
Man, do you know how over Corey Perry I am right now? I am. He could literally die, and I'd be okay with it.
See, but that's the thing. There's only the only fans of Corey Perry in the entire league, I would say. Maybe Anaheim because he was there for so long. But outside of Anaheim, the only fans that are cheering for Corey Perry are Dallas Stars fans.
Yeah.
And I get it because it's the same thing for me too. I am only happy he's here because he's on my team.
Yeah.
He's probably a bigger pain in the ass than Brad Marchand, just less skilled.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the skill's obviously not there, but I think Perry at this point, he knows what he's doing. He's been doing this game for so long, and he's had a lot of playoff experience, right? So he just knows he knows the game, he's come in, he's read the rule books, and he sat everyone else down at the table, and they've never played before. He knows what's going on.
And that's something I kind of wanted to ask you about, and we kind of talked about that already, how in Game 5, especially the first 2 periods, obviously, emotions were running high. There was a lot of extracurricular shit going on, a lot of, maybe on that line kind of stuff happening. And like you said, Corey Perry, he knows how to ride that line he goes over it quite a bit too, but he knows how to be on that line, especially when it comes to reading refs and everything. And it's funny that he just kind of shut that down, and basically the whole Stars kind of shut that down in the third, and they just, tried to get more, offensive momentum.
After the end of the second period, when it was just a war, every whistle.
Yeah.
And I was losing my mind because they said it in the intermission for us, and they're like, first, we want to go home. This game is over. Dallas is just trying to be a pain in the ass, and they're trying to take their chunk of flesh before Game 5 or Game 6. And then all of a sudden they come out to the third period, and it seemed emotionless in the third.
But also, that's the thing I was kind of leading into, is you didn't see much of that tonight.
No.
At all either. And I'm wondering what you think, is that a positive thing for the Dallas Stars, that there's not that bite there, or is that them just trying to get down to business? What do you think is going to happen for Game 7 when it comes to that kind of stuff?
Well, I think definitely in the games they're behind, they come out with that, sort of get down to business. Like, we can't have any funny business. We can't risk. I think one of the big reasons, I don't agree with the fact that the calls were 5-1, or whatever they were in this game. Like, really? Come on. You can't either not, like, fine. If Colorado takes one penalty.
Hey,
really?
Don't take penalties. This is like I've never understood this crap.
I agree, but like there were some of them. Like,
what do you mean there were some of them? Every penalty Dallas took tonight was a guaranteed call.
All right, fine. But you could. There were a couple times. There were so many times I'm looking at the screen and I'm going, "That's interference." And I know you guys are gonna say, "Well, it's playoff hockey, so they just don't call that." But like, come on.
Well, yeah, but this is my point. The 5 penalties that the Dallas Stars got were blatant. The one that the Colorado Avalanche took today was blatant. You want to talk about nitpicky stuff? The Dallas Stars would have been short for 10. Right? Like, this is the thing. This is the thing with playoff hockey, and it's the same for every single team. I ref. I know this. This is it. Everybody has their own biases, and they don't see the nitpicky shit on their own team. They only see the nitpicky shit on the other team. And that's the thing with playoff hockey that drives people nuts, is because they see the nitpicky crap on the other team, and they're like, "Oh, you didn't call that, but then you're going to call us for this blatant trip?" It's like, yeah, yeah, we are. Like, you could maybe argue Corey Perry's holding call in this one, maybe. But at the same time, he blows a wheel and then takes a guy down because he's going to get beat because he blew a wheel, right? Like, that's, I don't know, man. It's like the Jamie Benn trip on Landeskog, easy. The double minor on Blake Como, obviously it's easy. The Alexiak holding on Rantanen, he literally took away a goal. I don't know what else you want.
All right. Well, to answer the question, though, right? Because to answer the question, though, like, the power plays take out so much momentum from the game, and like, I was reading the keys to the game that the NHL put out before this game, and one of them was Radulov's not a penalty killer, and last game they took so many penalties he played less than 10 minutes. Right?
Really?
You effectively,
right,
yeah, he played like 9:45 in Game 5.
Wow.
So like
yeah,
I
that's
think
low.
maybe even that might be even strength.
No,
right? Because
I'm pretty sure it's 9:31 total. Yeah, 9:31 is what they have in the game sheet.
Right. So you've effectively taken out one of our offensive players out of the game. Right. He's lost all his momentum. There's no rhythm to his shifts. Right. So I guess the more time that the Stars or the Avs can have their top players on the ice is who's gonna win the game.
For sure.
You'd think, right? So the fact that you guys are drawing a ton of penalties and it's killing just any rhythm our offense has of getting going. And our offense needs to get going.
It
right?
kills our momentum too, don't worry.
Yeah,
right?
The Avs can't do power plays, so it's fine.
What is that? 0 for
11 in the last two games?
Jesus Christ.
Listen, I would say I'd give a lot of credit to the Stars. I think they've been great on the penalty kill.
Yeah,
you guys horrify me every power play. Like the zipping passes up top between Rantanen and McCarr, like, it's just so like NHL 20 passing efficiency. Like, to them, it's horrifying to watch.
But that is the thing, though, is Dallas has been playing that penalty kill really well, because they basically mitigated it to exactly what you just were talking about, is that, top umbrella passing, and we cannot, for the fucking life of us, get it to the front of the net.
Dude, the 6 minutes of power play time in the first period was just 6 minutes of wasted time.
It was pretty bad. The second one was a lot better, the non-high stick one. It was a lot better, but still, we couldn't really get much going. Yeah.
Right. So you guys have drawn our forwards out of the game, and you've killed any momentum they're getting, and they need momentum to get going. Right. The offense we've been talking about it the whole time. Like, this is crazy that they've been this on fire since the playoffs have started. So now we're seeing, okay, we need them to find their own spark, and they just can't with the amount of penalties we're taking and just the way the game is going. So if they want to do it, like,
that's fantastic for me. That's fantastic news from us.
I just don't know. Like, I'm like, okay, maybe the stuff and all the scrums and stuff after the whistle, like, do you come out and do that game 7 like you're saying, because that's what you need to get going? But then the thing is, you need a willing combatant on the other end of that as well.
But the thing is through 4 games and part of game 5, the Avs were willing, and it was driving me insane.
Yeah, you guys, so you saw that, right? So you see, right, we're trying, and the thing is, in the Flames series, they were willing every game, every time, right? That's just the way the Flames are built. That was the playoff series that we expected going into that.
Yeah, similar mentality between those.
There are heavy hitters on both sides for the Avalanche, but I think you'll see that in any NHL lineup. You've got big guys on both sides, but the Avs aren't built for that game.
They're not built for the scrummy crap either.
Right. So you see us trying to get into it, and I'm like, okay, you're taking away from the actual hockey itself, but then do you need that to do the hockey?
It seems like they do.
And that's the interesting thing too, like,
but that's been the Stars all season. We've been wondering about consistency and offense. And like, this is like this playoff series, or I guess not the playoff series, but like the playoffs for me so far has been like a tiny microcosm. Like every game has been a microcosm of the season. It's like this roller coaster of, hooray, the offense is here, we're saved. Oh no, now we have to play defense for the rest of our lives because we can't score goals.
Yeah, that sounds about right. The thing with the Stars though is, and I guess it's like kind of the double-edged sword for them, is they don't seem to have energy when they're not doing the scrummy garbage and like drawing penalties. Just, I don't, like you said, right, when the top line's not really skating, not really grooving, they're not really going to draw penalties because they're not really going to push the envelope necessarily between the whistles. But then if you take penalties in the scrums, which has started to happen because the refs have gotten sick of it, which I'm thankful for, then they don't get on the ice, so they can't get going. I don't know. I'm hoping that it stays away for game 7 because that works for me.
I am hoping on the flip side of that the refs go game 7 and they just put the whistles away. That would be nice.
And that wouldn't surprise me.
It's just, so like, I'm okay with putting the whistles away, but like, you go back to game 4, I think it was, when Perry drives the net. Actually, no, it wasn't game 4. It was game 3, I believe, when Corey Perry drives the net, takes a big hack at Hutchinson or at Frankie, and then gets popped. The Avs go penalty killing. They end up taking the second one on the penalty kill. Avs score 2. The game's over. That's the crap that drives me insane because Corey Perry commits a foul, gets punched in the face for it, and somehow doesn't go to the box for it. And Avs Twitter was losing their minds. I was losing my mind. It's just shit like that. And it's like, you can put your...
But that's a brilliant play. That's a brilliant
But
play.
again, but that's what I'm saying, though. Like, you can't put your whistle away on half of a scrum. And that's, like, if there's going to be scrums and crap, and there's going to be guys punching each other in the face, you got to take them both if you're going to put your whistles away for the whole game.
And especially if you're going to try and control the direction of the game when it comes to discipline.
The problem...
everything.
Well, yeah, that's the problem. The problem with...
Because that got out of fucking hand in game
awful.
5, right?
Yeah. And that's my problem, right, is that it seems that the refs have been picking and choosing in a very odd manner. Because, like, they know what... they have scouting reports on Corey Perry, too, just like everybody else.
Yeah, they sat down. They pulled out, like, the principal's office, like, folder for Corey Perry, and they sat it down.
Okay, boys.
So there was one where Corey Perry did it, and it pissed me off, but he didn't do anything. And this is exactly how he's got to do it. But he drove the net on a long, like, outside shot, drives the net, stops right on top of Frankie.
Right.
And then I don't know if it was Kale McCarr or Zadorov it was, I think it was Burakovsky or somebody like that. They just dusted him because he was just standing right there. He didn't do anything. Yeah, absolutely. The Avs get a penalty for that, right? Because it's one-sided.
That's just Corey Perry doing what he does.
The one where he goes in and takes the extra whack when it's after the whistle, all that crap, and somehow draws a penalty. That one blew my mind.
And it's also scary.
But that's the Corey Perry game, though, right?
Oh yeah.
Is he'll drive the net and he'll take a whack at your goalie, and you're like, "Are you kidding me? You just touched my goalie!" And then he'll drive the net the next time and stop and be like, "What?"
Well, that's what I mean, right? Like, if he doesn't actually do anything, and the Avs do stupid shit and get penalties, you can't get mad at anybody but yourself. But when he legitimately takes a whack and then doesn't get called, you can't just drives me insane.
So I think like if whether or not that will work, this game 7 is up to the hockey gods at this
Pretty
point.
much,
Like,
yeah. But the thing is, right, since the third period of game 5, Corey Perry has been invisible on stuff like that.
Yeah, and I don't know if that was something got said to him or something.
I mean,
but
Coach did come down the bench after he took, I think, his third penalty of game 5.
I remember seeing that too. Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe, but I don't know. It's just stuff like that, and I don't know. We'll see what happens in game 7, but I mean, the way the Avs power play is going, I don't really want 5 power plays.
Seriously.
Because I don't want the Stars to have 5 either. So,
and like it's doing us no favors either, honestly. Like as
Well, I
much
mean-
as it's like, yeah, we're gonna get some momentum out of this, it's really not even just happening.
I think was it the 4th or the
Good
5th
killing
power
and then-
play today? I believe
That was the when Ben got the tripping call. I'm pretty sure that's what you're probably talking about. And then they
Yeah.
come after that fucking penalty kill and
After
they
they-
just start.
yeah,
That's when
after
they
they
get
killed
that huge
Jamie Ben's-
attack.
after they killed Jamie Ben's penalty, you guys had like 3 minutes or 2.5 minutes of zone time in a row, just ramming it down the Avs' throat, and it was just like, oh my god.
right, but so then the puck didn't go in for those three periods, and then I would say after that they were lifeless. Like they killed the penalty and they were like, yes, here we go, and it didn't work, and that was it. That was all the fight they had.
It legit, like that was what seemed like that was it. That was all the fight they had, and then it was just Avs because Makar flipped the switch, put the puck in the net, and then there wasn't any real sustained pressure from Dallas after that.
And it drives me mental, the lack of offensive creativity the whole team has.
Yeah.
Like, or lack of. Like, I see Gurionov and Hintz every now and then trying to make toe drags and stuff like that, but like they're doing it on the rush, and it's just I know the offensive zone play every time that they're going to do it. They're going to drive the net. They're either going to drop it back to the defenseman if they're not covered, or they're going to rim it around to the other defenseman.
Yeah.
And then if that doesn't work, then they're gonna go in on the forecheck. But the problem is your guys' defense skates so well, as does ours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can skate it past all of the old men.
I've always wondered that. I've always wondered why teams that have really high-end talent on one side of the puck, whether it's the offensive guys or the defensive guys, how when they play against teams that are exactly like that, they don't just automatically have a game plan because they know how to, like, they watch it in practice. They know how to play against guys of that skill. Because I expected that out of this series. Like, I expected the Stars to know how to play against speedy defensemen just like I expected the Avs to know how to play against speedy defensemen. And it just hasn't really happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, that's been a big thing in this series for either team. And, of course,
Well,
like
this
we've
game,
seen
right?
Heiskanen, Klingberg, we talked about them last time, but it's the same with Makar. And then, like, Gerard, I don't think we've talked nearly enough about him. Probably because he's just so silently efficient.
He hasn't done anything great, and he hasn't done anything brutal.
And like
I think
tonight, he was flying.
I think he did 4 spinoramas on one play in the offensive zone. Like, he turned, spinorama, turned back, spinorama, came up past the puck, returned the puck, and then did it again.
Yeah,
the dude's
flying.
he's gonna get back to the bench and be like,
It's just
Spin
dizzy.
me the other way. Spin me the other way.
I mean, yeah, like tonight, holy shit, there's a lot of little spinoramas going on. The Avs just love that move. It's like you see it from
listen,
Landeskog,
if you
McKinnon.
can do it and you can do it at speed like they can do it and control the puck the whole time, why wouldn't you do it
Yeah.
on every play?
It's hard to defend, man. That would be hard to defend.
Well, that's the frustrating thing is, like, I want to argue about the penalties, but like the speed of the Avalanche is just so killer. Like, you have to be so precise with your puck and your stick checking, because if you don't, your stick's between their legs and they're on the ice, and you've taken a penalty.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's the biggest thing, like what we kind of talked about, and that's the biggest change in this series so far is just that the Avs are playing finally to their strengths, and I guess Dallas really isn't. That's kind of been the story of the last 2 games, realistically.
well,
I just want an even Game 7.
I think we're gonna have it.
I don't think the Stars have really shown up the last couple of games,
Yeah.
and I think they played really well at the beginning of the series. So I would just like to finally see like an even game.
And now there's desperation from both sides because it's
Yep.
It's not just elimination game for the Avs. Now it's elimination
This
game
is
for the
the
Stars.
game.
So.
This is the game that we all talk about, that we all
Yep.
played as a kid.
Game
as we're
7.
like, all right, game 7.
Yep.
I got the puck on my stick. Like, this is
Yep.
it. Like, they are literally
Exactly.
doing it. So,
We talked about it. We talked about it at the start of the series. Whoever played their game the most was going to win the series.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's the way it's moving.
That's exactly what happened in the last 2 games, and it's exactly what happened in 3 of the 4 first games, right? Dallas played their game for big chunks of 4 games.
Yeah.
I think the thing that surprised people about this series, I think is I don't think people counted Dallas out of this series, but I think they expected to see the series go complete opposite. Colorado come out to that hot start, and then Dallas chip away, sort of refinding their game. I think that was more of the series I expected. So the fact that we came at this with Dallas on top and like literally had you by the throat, it just drives me mental.
But at the
Why
same
did
time,
you
it's the
let it
same reason that we did it and Hockey Troll did it. I don't know if you saw that, but like it's the same reason why out of the 4 series that were 3-1, the one team that you said could do it is the Avs.
That's fair.
They hadn't played their game, and we said it on the last episode, is the frustrating part about being down 3-1 in the first 4 games was the fact that the Avs hadn't played. The Avs beat themselves. They hadn't played to their game and lost. Right? Like, it's one thing if, say, you're Vancouver and you're going up against the Vegas Golden Knights, and the Vegas Golden Knights are just better and they just beat you. Right? Like, would you have been surprised if Vegas won last night when Vancouver had 17 shots and a rookie goaltender net? No. But Thatcher Demko stood on his head, and that defense played really well on the outside, or like keeping everything on the outside, right? But
it's playoffs. But the thing is, if the Avalanche win Game 7, it's all I'm gonna see is like Thor in Infinity War. He comes down, he has him, and he should have gone for the head. Like, drives me nuts.
I would love to see that. I want to see that. Obviously.
I want a good game. I won't say clean because like that's not the Stars game, but I want a good game. I want a good game.
What I would love to see is both teams come out and play their best hockey, because that has not happened in this series, in my opinion. Both ways. We have not seen the best Dallas Stars, in my opinion, and we haven't seen the best Avs.
I'm just scared of that because we don't have our best goalie.
Yeah, and
That's
that
the problem.
could be a factor. I mean,
that's the biggest X factor. I think Hudobin starts Game 7. You don't question it.
Don't mess with that.
Bishop's out. Hudobin's in.
Yeah.
He's finishing this series. If you want to maybe consider him for some reason in the finals or the semifinals, maybe, I guess that's a thing you can have later. You got to win this game. Hudobin's in. But like, Hutchinson is such an X factor. Like, listen, we all saw him play in Toronto. He did not inspire confidence.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
I know
I said, that the goal from Heiskanen went in, and I think a lot of people were like, "And it begins."
Oh, did you see the Twitterverse when that went in? It was like, "Oh, there he is!" Like, just all the tweets is like, "That's the Hutchinson we know."
So like Game 7, like we could be like, "Yeah, it's gonna be a really good game," and then Hutchinson could either one play his mind out, or shit the bed like we've known him to do. And it could be a very different series all of a sudden because of that one person.
And that's, if there's any game that a goalie or a player in general would get the most nervous about, it's fucking Game 7 of the playoffs. So
that being said, I don't think you can go from having your first ever playoff start in an elimination game.
Yeah.
I don't think you can get more nervous.
It doesn't get much worse, yeah.
Like,
so we'll see, yeah.
Series winning, series elimination, maybe there's a little more, but like, I don't know. I'm sure this guy's had the butterflies.
Yeah,
the last
listen, I know
3 days.
He's a professional, but like I said, I've just
Barely.
seen the highlights of him in Toronto, and every time the Stars are in the zone, I'm just going, shoot at him.
I think that's one thing.
Something at him, just lob it. Heiskanen threw a muffin at him.
Yeah.
Shoot.
The old classic, shoot the puck.
The thing is,
Yes.
hey, maybe that's the best part about the bubble right now is the fact that fans can't yell shoot and they won't hear them.
They don't know.
They don't know
They
how.
don't know when to shoot.
That's the thing with Hutchinson though too, and It's what we saw with the Avs defense in the first 4 games of the series too. But the Leafs don't have a good, solid defensive scheme, and they haven't for the last, 20 years. Somehow the Avs, with their backup goalie in, were like, okay, guys, it's time to legitimately keep these guys at the outside. Let's not cheat. Let's not do any of this crap. And then we'll turn up and get our offense when we get our offense. And it's worked. And I don't know where the hell it came from, because this was not a thing all season. Like, Jared, how many times did we watch the Avs this year and go, that was a really, like, there wasn't any crap 2-on-1s.
It took a long time. I know there was a few games right before the end of the pause, or before the pause happened, where we had to because we couldn't fucking score a goal for that period of time. But not often.
But
And that's not the style.
I don't think the Stars had a single 2-on-1.
Not really. Like, they kind of had the 1-2-on-1, but it became more of a 2-on-2.
And they didn't really get anything off of it.
Yeah.
But it was
That's
just
speed and offensive creativity again. Like, it's like I'd say, hell, the McKinnon to Rantanen goal that's been duplicated 3 or 4 times this series in the 2-on-1, right? That's not like a 2-on-1 from like a defensive turnover in the offensive zone by the Stars or like a defenseman blew a skate. That's a 2-on-1 created from the Stars' own defensive blue line in.
Yeah.
Right. That's it. That's all a foot speed thing, right? They are turning that immediately into a 2-on-1 because Heiskanen blew a tire at his own blue line in Game 5, right? Like, those are all like that. It's instantaneous. McKinnon is one of the best players on the planet, and every time I see that play, Rantanen is an amazing finisher. So, like, I've seen that play three times this series. Every time I see it, I'm like, damn, like, that, whatever the defensive breakdown that led to that, damn for that. But, like, holy, he is.
That's the thing, right? You cannot make a mistake against the top line.
That the pass over Klingberg, like, they showed the shot from like ice level from like the receiving end of that, and just like the little wobble on it. It was just like,
it was ridiculous.
And like, my favorite part of that play was honestly Mikko shooting the puck, because the puck like doesn't even hit the ice, dude, and it's just like in the middle of his blade. It's like, that is fucking high IQ.
And
you have to
like
practice that.
Yeah.
And it goes dead center, top shelf.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
And that's something we didn't see in the first round or in the round robin.
And that's got to be scary for the Stars when you get a Mikko Rantanen fucking heating up.
Well, this is my problem. This is what my problem was all day today and yesterday. Coming into Game 6, seeing the stuff of Cale Makar, looking at the rookie points record for the playoffs already, and Nathan McKinnon 1 point behind Wayne Gretzky's all-time playoffs point number in the first 13 games of the playoffs. Wayne Gretzky did 24. Nathan McKinnon had 23. And yes, this is round robin games. This is a different, definitely less defensive playoff than we're used to. So I'll give him that. But the fact that Nathan McKinnon had 23 points, has 25 points through 14 games, and the leading scorer from the Stanley Cup playoffs last year had 23, I believe, total. And it's just like, man,
it's wild.
The fact that the Avs have been on the brink for 2 games now, with guys like McKinnon and Makar and Rantanen and Landeskog and all these guys that are hitting on all cylinders offensively, has been insane. And I've just been sitting here going, like, I said to you, Jared, I'm sitting here, I'm like, I'm not ready to talk about how can the Avs get better for next year. Because aside from bubble wrapping everyone, I don't know if there's an answer.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing like you saw that happen with the Oilers, right? They bow out, and Connor McDavid put up 9 points in 4 games.
Yeah, but the thing with the Oilers is it's kind of similar to what the Avs had last year, right? The Avs looked at last season. They had the 3-headed monster and Rantanen, McKinnon, and Landeskog. But that was it. And Joe Sakic went out, and he added Kadri, and he added a bunch of middling players to fill out the depth. And it's been excellent. Not so much in this series up until the last couple of games. But against Arizona, it was great. In the regular season,
I wouldn't even say they were good. Your depth was really good. Game 6.
No, not really.
Yeah.
Right? But the thing is
Makar, Makar is, that's unfair.
the thing is, all season, this team, the depth has been there, and it's been amazing. And Joe Sakic went and fixed the problems that the Avs had. The Oilers, they have the depth problem. They've had the depth problem for years. That at least they can talk about. I don't know. I don't know how you add more depth to this team. Like I don't. Yeah. The only thing that's killing this team right now is injuries and not playing their style. Pure and simple.
And I think that's why, when we saw it, everyone was so surprised that Dallas was even in this position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? I need a positive Friday postgame. That's it. That's all I need. That's it. Is that so much to ask?
So I don't work. So can I expect a
phone call? Yeah.
A phone call?
Yeah.
Sure.
Right.
I guess we'll have to do it, yeah.
You got it.
Either way,
we'll give each other time to dry our eyes, depending on how this thing goes. We got to make sure we're
dry your eyes or shotgun some beers. One of the two.
Yeah. Exactly.
Man, I thought I was going to be shotgunning a lot of beer in Game 5.
Yeah.
When Hutchinson got the call, I was like, oh, no.
Here we go, boys. Yeah.
But anyway.
It's going to be exciting, man.
It's going to be exciting on Friday. Hopefully it's another.
Possibly two.
Hopefully.
Game 7s.
Yeah, as much as I want to watch 2 Game 7s, the problem is they're both in the West.
Yeah.
Which means one game has to start at 3 o'clock Mountain.
They'll probably go to overtime too. So
probably. So this game, whoever plays late is going to play till Saturday.
Hey.
I really want there to be 2 Game 7s, but it would be really nice if it would have been Philly.
Yeah, an East
no,
team. Yeah.
Psych. But anyway, we will chat Friday. Thanks for joining us today.
I will see you gentlemen there.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks a lot, Mike.
I'm going to put all my Tyler bets on Dallas on Friday. Don't you worry.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me on, and I would wish you luck, but you know how that goes.
Yeah, no, we don't do that.
We know the spiel here.
We definitely don't do that.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thanks for joining us.
Guys.
See you later.
See you later, man.
Oh my God, I need positive Friday post game.
Hell yeah, dude.
So for those that I didn't actually mention it because I hadn't actually done them, but I think I mentioned the Tyler bets here where I bet on the other team because I'm superstitious and either my team wins or I win money.
Yeah.
I can't do both. If I put money on the Avs lose. Avs would lose guaranteed every time. I can't do it.
You learned your lesson.
So I put $200 on Dallas to win the series after Game 2 because I forgot because I'm an idiot, and I think that's what screwed the Avs so far. But I put it on the Avs, and the payout sucked. The payout was $66 on a $200 bet.
Yeah. I wonder what it is now.
I wonder.
I actually wonder,
But the Avs have been the favorite to win the last 3 games.
Huh.
So today I put $50. Actually, I put $66 on Dallas to win tonight.
Okay.
Which would have been $160. So if the Stars would have won today, I would have had $400 coming.
Yeah.
So don't you worry. I'm putting that money right back on Dallas. I don't give a shit.
It's happy one way or fucking another.
The good luck has worked so far. If I have to spend a couple $100 to have the Avs move on, I will spend it. I don't give a shit.
Money well spent.
Money well spent. Dude, we can't go to the games. If I have to spend $500 or $600 for the Avs to win the cup, I'm gonna fucking do it. I don't care.
Doing your part.
I'm doing my part, exactly.
I appreciate it.
I was sitting here and I'm like, man, $400 would be pretty cool. But see, you gotta play those games. Because if you don't play those games, the hockey gods don't believe you.
Yeah.
So I play the game and I won half of the game today.
There you go.
I used to work with a guy that loves sports betting, and I told him my theory, and he told me I was a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Makes sense.
It fucking works.
Yeah.
I bet on the Calgary Stampeders win the Grey Cup. Guess what? I bet against the Calgary Stampeders win the Grey Cup. Guess what? They won the Grey Cup. I was happy. I bet against the Leafs in the Columbus series. I won money. Fucking works for me.
There you go.
It's paying for my Colorado Avalanche betting. It's great.
Yeah.
But anyway, Game 7 Friday. We don't know the time yet. The time
TBD.
is based on whether or not Philly wins. I believe. Actually, I don't even know. I don't know are they back to back. I don't know if Philly's supposed to play Thursday or if they're supposed to play Friday too. Because I'd be really surprised if there was going to be 3 Game 7s.
I don't
On
think
Friday.
so. They would be scheduled. No, Saturday.
I don't think Brett was saying that there was no game scheduled for.
It says TBD, New York Islanders, Philly.
Oh yeah, okay, that's not so bad then. But I mean, still, like,
We'll see what happens. Yeah.
if it's gonna suck so bad if there's a doubleheader and one. I would assume just because the way the Avs are, they would play at like 3:00 in the afternoon. I'd assume they'd play the first one. Just seems like they always
On Friday.
Yeah, just because Vancouver's always seems to be the late game, right?
Yeah.
So,
Although, chronologically on the schedule, they are before Dallas and Colorado. I don't know if don't read into anything on that. But you never know. It could mean something. Although, fuck, man, they have back-to-backs, and if that's a Game 7, that's
unless
crazy.
it's already scheduled, because the Score app has Vancouver and Vegas at 11 a.m.
Oh, jeez.
already on there, and then it has Dallas and Colorado as TBA.
11 a.m. on a Friday.
That would be odd. That would be very odd.
The
I wouldn't.
fuck?
I wouldn't take that to.
Yeah,
I mean,
grain of salt, grain of salt.
I would assume that one game is going to be at 6:00, but no, actually, I'm not. I take that back. I would assume it's 8 and 3 is my guess.
Who knows? I'm sure we'll find out tomorrow morning or something.
Well, yeah. No, we probably won't find out till tomorrow's games are over.
Actually, you're probably right about that. Yeah.
Like maybe that 11 o'clock is right, and if it's 11 o'clock for the Vegas Vancouver game, then it'll be 6 for the Avs.
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah, because
'Cause
they
I
need
don't-
2.5 hours or something in
Well,
between.
because they've been scheduling them 5 hours apart.
Right.
Like the starts 5 hours apart, right?
So yeah, they probably need like something like 2 hours or something in between ice slots.
Yeah, I think they were saying like 96 minutes. They need to change
Right, 'cause
ads
they
and
had
stuff.
like the number down.
Yeah, because that when the game went to overtime, they said they could get it down to like 73 minutes or something.
Oh yeah.
But it was 96 was the number, so that's an hour and a half plus 6 minutes, right? So you're looking at like basically 2 hours.
Yeah.
But the way it's been so far is they've been scheduling starts 5 hours apart. So that's my guess. I don't know why that 11 o'clock is in there, because if the Avs are to be announced, then the Vegas Vancouver game should be to be announced too. So I don't know. It is what it is. The score is probably just
2020, baby. You never know what the
this-
fuck's gonna happen.
This is also true. But maybe they already know that Vancouver's going to win tomorrow because it's been said.
See, they did that with round 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, let's start round 2 on Saturday. Even though there's potential, fuck, we know they're going to lose Saturday. Let's go.
Thank you, Blair. I'm glad you think I'm crazy about my betting. But that being said, I don't know, man. I can't wait for Friday. Your best players got to be your best players, and for the Avs, that has definitely been the case lately.
Yeah.
And I think, like,
I wonder what happened with Landeskog, if he's okay.
So I saw a tweet from Dater while we were talking to Mike there, and he said from a person inside the bubble, they saw Landeskog and he was walking just fine, quote unquote.
Okay.
That being said, he only played like
Cautious.
16 seconds in the third period. So
Yeah, he did the little loop-de-loop and
yeah,
came
he had
back
that
off.
quick little shift
Yeah.
and then skated and TV timeout and then called it a night.
Honestly, it's probably not the most terrible thing because he did not have a fucking good game tonight. He had a lot of interesting... Although, I will say this. He did have his feet going and everything. Just certain things about passing and just... I don't know. Just a little bit off mentally. I don't know what it was.
See, I thought for the first, I don't know, half the game, maybe 2 periods, I thought he was the best on the first line. Because Rantanen and McKinnon just weren't doing anything. Because McKinnon couldn't stick handle to save his life.
Yeah, I don't know
for the
what
first
was
2
going
periods.
on with that, too. It was a weird sight, honestly. Like, plays that are just, in his back pocket everywhere.
The amount of times McKinnon stick handled the puck right off his stick today.
Yeah, it was...
So when Landeskog hurt, I'm like, are you serious? He's been the best player on the first line. Yes, passing wasn't the greatest, maybe, but I thought like the energy was there. I thought he
definitely had the energy.
He was trying to push the line a little bit.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, McKinnon you're hoping for normally, but
Then they kind of shuffled him back down and put Berkey back up there. Which Berkey, man, he's shooting. That's one thing I noticed about him today. He's shooting the puck.
Dude, that play
Yes.
he had in was it the third? Yeah. Where it was kind of like the 3-on-2 for the Avs. I think McKinnon tossed it to Burakovsky in the middle, and he kind of threw that backhander on net.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that was a really good chance.
That was really nice.
That was a really good chance.
I think Mika was on the left side or whatever, and he's like, you knew that he couldn't get the puck there, and he knew. So he just kind of dipsy-doodled through the slot and got that backhander. Yeah, man.
There was also that, I think it was late in the second. I think it was Gerard. He's like on the boards, kind of skating from the corner back to the blue line. This is in the offensive zone. Where he like hucks that backhand pass across to the far side D-man. And I was just like, dude, like, you got to have some serious stones to make that pass.
Yeah.
Because A, backhand pass, and B, across the middle of the ice. If that gets picked off, that is a breakaway the other way.
Yeah, exactly.
But nobody was there, and it was a great pass. And I was just like, oh, man.
And
confidence.
Yeah, and confidence did grow in this game. And it's obviously it's grown after the last two games.
The one thing about this game, and mostly the third period, the Avs had 4 shots.
Yeah.
2 of them went in.
And I think, we talk about finding a way to win. And honestly, like that was a really good defensive game like we were talking about. But that's the thing is that's all we needed. And normally, and I'm looking at the shot total throughout the night too, and I'm like, okay, fuck. Like usually we're firing a lot more pucks. Now, normally, yeah, I'm gonna be upset, and I think Game 7 we're gonna have to fire more pucks. But tonight it just worked out that we didn't have to do much more. So,
I'm not gonna say they got lucky to win Game 6. Like Mike said, the Avs outplayed the Stars.
Oh yeah,
I think there was a lot of neutral zone, a lot of like crap jumbling up the middle of the ice. But the Avs had 14 even strength shots, 9 on the power play. Which 9 on the power play is generous. Like obviously they hit the net. They were legitimate shots. Two of those were chances.
Yeah, exactly.
I think.
Yeah, and
right, Burakovsky had the break or the one-timer on the right side. I think it was the third power play. And then there was another decent glove save, I think, by Hudobin on the power play. But those are really the only 2 chances they had on 5 power plays. And, 9 shots is okay. But the way the Avs need to again, we've said it a million times. You don't have to score in every power play. But you have to generate momentum. And we saw it. Like we said, that 4th power play, the momentum that the Dallas Stars got from that kill alone is so deadly when your power play just doesn't do anything.
Right.
And in a game like this where the power plays are so lopsided, for good reason, I don't give a shit what Michael thinks about it. Like those were gifts to the ref. Like those 5 power plays were gifts.
Yeah.
Those 4 calls, easy money. But when the power plays are that lopsided, your PK, your bench, the guys like Radulov that haven't been on the ice because so many PKs are sitting there watching them make PK after PK after PK, and it's just like shot blocks. The more you make, the more fired up your bench gets.
Yep.
And that's exactly what almost killed the Avs after that 4th one. And if they get 5 power plays in Game 7 and they don't score, they're not winning that game.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely that's going to be a focal point in Game 7 is, we got to respond positively because 0 for 11, that's just not the Avs.
How can you go up 5-0 and have 0 power play goals? Be part of that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how the hell we scored this many goals and none of them have been power play goals.
Right? Like, I don't know what the series is at right now for goals on the power play for the Avs.
I think they have 3, something like that. It's like 3 for 25 or some shit. It's not good.
Because Game 4 they had 1, and it's just like again, a power play that is the way. A power play that has the talent that the Avs have.
It can't go to waste.
And it can't be this bad.
Yeah.
I don't care what Dallas is doing. You're still up a man. Make a play.
Yeah, biggest thing I've noticed on that power play is just you guys are way in your own head. Like, stop thinking so much. Think about also the good Avs power plays. It's just click, 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 click. It's not, oh, I'm going to go over here. What's he doing now? Oh, should we pull over this pass? Should I do a little, like, oh, man, who was it? I think it was Rantanen. He was pissed. But just a shitty, sloppy pass back to Makar or something, and they fucking get like a 2-on-1 the other way. Oh, yeah, that's when they almost scored on that. And that's kind of when it, like, snuck through behind Hutchinson out his 5-hole.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was like, whoa, Mikko, dude, take a second and just, like, stop trying to force these plays. You guys know, be honest, like, you guys know where everybody is.
Yeah.
Like, just do it. Just feel it out. Don't overthink every single pass and, like, oh, we gotta go up here and then we're gonna go over to McKinnon in one time. Fuck that shit. Just do it. Just do whatever. Like, think about some of the Kadri power play goals that have happened. It's been like click, 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 down below, up in front, boom.
Yeah,
Wham!
Just
do it, man. We need to see that.
The Avs had a 2 for 8 in game 2, 0 for 3 in game 3. So yeah, I think you're right with the.
I remember on the broadcast they said like, oh, they're 3 for 24 in the series now or whatever. So I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah, game 1, I think they had none.
That's just, and it's funny because that's like a product of our power play the whole year.
Yeah.
Because, like,
it's regressed to the norm, too.
Yeah. Because we ripped on this power play how many games throughout the season?
But the thing with the power play this season, and I think we kind of talked to Richie and Corey about it, was injuries derailed a lot of this power play.
Yeah.
With the injuries that this team has right now, surprise, the Colorado Ambulance.
No way.
You would imagine that it was a big piece on the power play that was missing, and that's why. They're all there.
Yeah.
Not a single piece has changed. Like
Definitely not on the first unit, anyway.
Yeah, like
it's funny because you see the second unit come out, and half the fucking time today, for sure,
they were the better unit.
Yeah.
Like, no question.
It's like right to the grind, you know, like see not as much thinking, firing the puck, driving for rebounds, you know, like Burakovsky just whipping the puck on the net too.
But you know what it partially is too? It's the unit they're playing against as well.
I mean,
right?
Probably.
And that's the thing, right? And again, we've talked about it. You got to give credit to Dallas at some point, right?
Yep.
And yeah, their power play or their penalty kill has been good.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason. But the Avs have to figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't go that many times.
The whole point of a 7-game series is to adjust and beat their adjustments. Mm-hmm. I don't think Dallas had to adjust for shit on the penalty kill.
Yeah, not a whole lot. And that's the thing, is just like how goddamn predictable it is. A fucking back pass that pisses. We both have issues with that.
I messaged our group chat when I think it was Gerard made the back pass in the second period to no one.
To no one. It's Graves is like circling. What the
It's like,
fuck, dude?
Cool, man. That's pretty sweet.
God, it's just so goddamn predictable. And that's the thing about the Dallas Stars. Like, they want you to do that. I think so. I think, right? And they set up on that blue line so well. Like,
right? Like again, I understand. I understand where it came from.
Yeah.
Because it makes sense to get everybody standing still on the blue line and then, whipping somebody at them.
Yeah.
I get that. But when everybody does it and then everybody can game plan for that power play, it's useless. Stop doing it.
And you just see it every power play.
And the problem is when you make a mistake, it's a breakaway against. Because that guy that you missed the pass to or that fumbled the puck or whatever was the last man back.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the...
And I understand the risk. Like, you're on a power play. You want to risk it all to get in the zone, get set up, all that stuff. But again, the best thing, in my opinion, with the slingshot, chip it by them.
Yeah.
Fly by them.
Right, and that's why I love that little audible, that little change up when you can put that guy right on the blue line who's just got his stick over there.
Yeah.
And you just, give and go. Boom, you're in.
Done.
Or you put it deep and just get on your ass.
You're flying. That's the whole point. Like, you're going faster.
McKinnon, you're going like 97 miles an hour. Just chip it in, dude.
Yeah, right? And that's one thing. They haven't really got stopped at the blue line a lot. Like, they'll get it in the zone and then fumble it away or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's nice. At least they get it in the zone and then it's not a brutal turnover. But I don't know. Some teams just get absolutely shit canned at the blue line and then they're screwed. It's 2-on-1 shorthanded and you're like, oh my God. I don't know. It's an infuriating power play. And when it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And I've noticed that's one of the biggest issues with the Avs is once they get knocked out of the zone on a power play, good luck.
Yeah, for sure.
But at the same time, they don't have a guy like Tom Wilson or something that you can chip and he's just going to go manhandle somebody and win the puck battle. Like, Kadri's not going to do that. He's going to try. Landeskog's going to try. But they're not big enough to just straight up win every battle.
Not every time, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
But, I mean, we can't be too down. It was a positive Wednesday podcast like we hoped for.
It was. We just got a little nitpicky there. But, fuck, we can be pissed off at that power play.
Yeah.
Like, be mad at that.
0
That's
for
garbage.
11 in 2 games where they've scored 10 goals.
Dude, could you fucking imagine if we lost tonight? Oh, fuck, we'd be all over that power play. I don't even think, honestly, I'd probably text you guys and be like, dude, I don't think I can do it tonight. I'm way too mad. Like,
right? And it's those things, right? It's those nitpicky things that lose you big games sometimes.
But, right, so video. Look at your video, Avs.
Right? It's kind of the same thing we talked about, right? We talked about it in the round robin. We talked about it in the Arizona series. When Rantanen got going, look out, this offense was going to take off. Because through him, the power play would get better. Because rather than him taking one-timers into the goalie's chest, he would take goals, like one-timer goals.
Top Ched. Yeah.
Right? And he started to make it happen. So
his impact is being felt.
hopefully
for sure.
his impact is felt in the power play in Game 7.
Yeah. Yeah, we need some snipe shows.
That being said, if the Dallas Stars want to take 10 penalties or 6 penalties or 8 penalties like they've done multiple times,
Do it.
do it. Avs,
Do it.
again, between the whistles. Just play between the whistles. Take the punch in the face. It's worth it.
Keep that
It's
rush.
worth it.
Keep that rush play going end to end. That's what I loved about the third was we had that 936 or
Yeah.
some shit without a penalty or a whistle, and it's just going back and forth and back and
They're
forth.
like, oh, it's like runtime. I'm like, I'm okay with that.
Turnover at the blue line goes back the other way. Turnover at the blue line goes back the other way. I'm just like, sweet dude, run that clock off.
As
Get
long as
it
there's
out.
no real bad chances,
Yeah.
sweet. I'm okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for those that tuned in to the live Twitter show and Facebook show and all that show stuff,
All the
thanks.
showsness. Thank
For
you.
those that are listening to the podcast on Thursday before Friday's game, thanks for tuning in.
Cheers.
And we will see you Friday for a definite Game 7 post game.
Yes. We
And
will be happy.
hopefully a preview of the next series.
Happy.
The biggest thing you can do to support us is by going to iTunes or Apple Podcasts and giving us a 5-star rating. Also, if you're looking to donate to the network, visit the Hockey Podcast Network's Patreon page. All donations go straight to the podcast host. Thanks, and see you next episode.
You're listening to the Hockey Podcast Network on Twitter at HockeyPodNet. New episodes every Monday and Thursday. Download at thehockeypodcastnetwork.com or wherever you get your podcasts from.